everyone, I'm Katie, and today I am doing another Christian book review. Today I am going to be talking about Second Time Around by Melody Carlson. So this is her newest release, and I am so happy that I read it. So thank you to Baker Publishing and Revell for sending me a copy of this book to read, because it was a very pleasant surprise. If you know me, contemporary romances can be hit or miss for me, and this one was definitely a hit for me, as I feel like even though it's a contemporary romance, I also feel it's more just a contemporary story with like a background of romance. Like, we don't see a lot of romance until like honestly pretty close to the end of the book. So I really enjoyed this one. This one is about Mallory, and she is an empty nester. So that is another point for this book, because we hardly ever see in a relationship with an older couple. And I just really like that Melody went that way in this book. I was really excited about that. So Mallory is an empty nester, and she has this like gorgeous old, I don't know if it's Victorian, but an old style home that she renovated from the bottom up, and it's gorgeous, and she has her own interior design business, but she's been divorced for over 20 years. And so her grandmother ends up passing away, and she gets a will like months later, but her grandmother left her souvenir shop in Oregon, and it has an apartment on top. And so she's like, wow, I remember spending summers there. I remember having a good time with my grandmother there. And so she decides to just kind of take a trip down there for memories and see what it looks like now. And so she goes, and she finds this man named Grayson, who she actually knew growing up during the summertime. And so he says that he'd like to buy the place. So she's like, okay, I'll think about it and I'll get back to you. Well, she finds out that Grayson wants it to build a mall in that small, like kind of picturesque area on the coast. And she realizes that I don't want that. I don't want my grandmother's shop being, torn down to create a mall. So she ends up deciding to just completely do a 180 and decide to make the shop into her own. So instead of a souvenir shop, she ends up creating a gorgeous storefront for her interior design business and making it a new place to help renovate the inside of homes. And I really love this story. And going through the book, like the first like half the book, you think everything's like going absolutely perfect for this woman. Like, everything's going smoothly, everything's going fast, she's moving in, she sold all the stuff in the store, everything's going fine, and then everything just completely just crashes down. Nothing is working, nothing is going on. Her renovations are going terrible. And so we just see her her journey to just figure out how to create a business, pretty much not necessarily from the ground up, because it is her business, but yeah, basically she has to figure out how to get the storefront going, and also like trying to figure out being the newbie in town. Even though she spent her summers there, she only knew like one or two people from there. The rest she didn't really know. And so just seeing her and the friendships that she gets along the way, and it's definitely more of like a woman's fiction story versus like heavy on the romance. So if you don't like a lot of romance, there is still some in here, but it's not like the main plot point, which I really did like about this one, as I really like just seeing her and seeing how Mallory renovated the place and made friends along the way. And I just thought it was a really sweet read. There is definitely a cute romance as well, although I honestly wish that the ending was drawn out just a little more, because I wanted to see a little bit more of that romance blossom between the two characters. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Pick it up. This one might end up on my favorites of the year. We'll see. And if it does, this might be my first contemporary romance that I think I've ever had on favorites. Maybe not, but I think this one is definitely a new favorite of Melody Carlson's, and I'm so happy that I got to read it. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video.